evening, beautiful people. I am a peace of mind lyric Allen, and welcome to Let's Talk. Today, our guest is the CEO of the Live and Lavish Empire, Mrs. Lekita Logan-Range. How are you doing today?
I am fabulous. How are you?
That's good to hear. I'm quite well, thank you. And thank you for being a part of this segment today. For I know you have a very busy schedule, so thank you for taking time out of your agenda for this today.
Yes, ma'am. I do. And I'm grateful and honored that you even invited me to be
Hmm,
a part of this segment. So thank you.
Ashe. All right, so let's get started. Let's talk a little bit about your background. Where you from? Grew up, sports, school, all that good stuff.
Okay, so I grew up in a town called Palm Beach Gardens. I grew up playing sports, mainly basketball and track. One of the top 3-point shooters in the county. So um, that's always a great memory to look back on. So
Can you still
yeah,
play? Can you still shoot?
of course I can.
Okay.
Is that a challenge?
Listen, any day, anytime. I'm always ready to go. Always got the gear. Okay, so let's jump into it. Where did you go to college? Where did you go?
I went to the University of Central Florida
Mhm.
in Orlando.
And what were you studying?
I studied interpersonal organizational communications
Hmm.
with a minor in hospitality and event management.
Okay, so that goes hand in hand what you currently do. Now, before we get into, let me see. No, we're gonna do that. So we're gonna go here. What made you decided that you wanted to own your own business?
I would say my love for events.
Okay.
So I didn't necessarily know I was going to end up in the events industry. I just know that I loved volunteering on campus at our different productions,
Hmm.
being a part of organizations and loving helping coordinate those events. And one day my friend was like, "You should have your own business." And I'm like, "Huh, that's a good idea." And I just went out and started my own business and we started growing from there. And I started building my team in Central Florida. And 11 years later, we're still here thriving. And now we're taking over South Florida.
Okay. Good here. So let me ask you this. Now, Spring Bling 2007 was held in Riviera Beach, Florida. And I remember getting a lot of text messages. And my mom's was getting a lot of text messages saying that, oh, I saw Kita on TV. And that was you on Spring Bling. So how did that make you feel? Did that also influence you to get into own your own business in the events arena and everything? Because not that wasn't the only year that you appeared on TV. You appeared after that year. You appeared several other times, which led you to work with MTV, BET, NASCAR, ESPN, the All Star Games. Like, how did that all come about, and what was the experience like?
Well, again, I love entertainment. I've always seen myself being, because it actually started off with my goal was to be like a production manager or a
Okay.
coordinator at one of these top networks. So, in order for me to best, I guess, put myself out there, I had to position myself to be seen and noticed. So I would have those opportunities to connect with some of those individuals. So that's why I was seen at these different productions, because not only did I want to enjoy the actual performances and the atmosphere, I wanted to network.
Hmm.
And if you want to move up in any industry, you have to network. You have to connect with different individuals,
Correct.
because you never know where that can take you. But in the beginning, it was just like, oh, this is fun. It's like they're having it in my hometown. Like, let's go. Like, it's free too. Like, let's do it. And we worked our way up to the front row. I did not know I was going to be on camera. So that was an amazing experience in itself. That was my first time being face to face with different executives from that level and that capacity. Just to see and observe them in action was like even more inspirational, because it was like, yes, like I could see myself doing that. And then once I started my business in 2010, so that's 3 years later, it was like, wow, like we're really doing this, because I already had gotten my opportunity from there to eventually start working some of the productions and the award shows and different things like that. That's how it started. It literally just started with me being in the audience and me networking and getting someone giving me a chance, giving me a shot.
Yeah, somebody always has to take a risk to give you that break that you need, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to touch a little bit on this, because if we go and look at a lot of your pictures, your photo ops, you have some pictures with some great individuals that I've seen. I see Queen Latifah, Monica Brandy, Bow Wow. The list goes on. So let me ask you this: were you allowed to take those, or you snuck and took those pictures? Like, hey, let me get a photo with you. Let me get a selfie with you, or something like that. How did that come about? Because I can tell, I can't say it was a selfie because the picture was taken at a different angle that you couldn't hold the cameras. So how did those pictures all come about? And were they like cool and laid back to take the picture, or were they stuck up, or were they resilient? Did they mind? You know how some celebrities act kind of funny. Like, were they willing
Uh-huh.
with at ease?
Well, one thing I can say, I only took pictures with individuals who I worked with.
Okay.
And so it was more of a natural thing.
Okay.
And some of them even said, "You want to take a picture?" I'm like, "Yeah, I want to take a picture."
Okay.
And so that in itself was just amazing, because you had some of them that was just like, "You never know when you may get this opportunity again." And I'm like, okay. Some people could look at that as arrogant.
Yeah.
Like, and others could be like, who cares? Let's do it,
Okay.
And of course, it was certain people I was just like, oh, I would love to take a picture with them, but it wasn't me necessarily asking them. It may have been someone else.
Correct. That
Saying,
asked
hey,
for you.
can we take a picture with you? And then we took pictures that way. But for the most part, it was literally just oh, you want to take a picture? Okay. So it was nothing about sneaking. I didn't have to sneak around and do anything, because every area that I was in, I received access to it. And it even was a point where, I feel like when you do good work and people notice, you'll get more benefits than those who aren't necessarily doing the best of job. And a lot of my jobs were working with talent. It was working with celebrities, and I still have those opportunities. So it's just more so how you position yourself, and them seeing that. And a lot of them saw something in me, and they're just like, I don't, even to this day, I get some people writing me like, I knew you were somebody special, and when they look at me and what I'm doing today, it's like, yeah, I've come a long way, but I worked very hard to get where I am today.
Yeah. So I got two more questions on that. You had an opportunity to work a little bit with Shaq. I think you were working the production switchboards at ESPN. What was that like?
So that was amazing. Though with Shaq, that was NBA All-Stars.
Okay.
And so I did work with ESPN, but I also worked with the actual Orlando NBA
Okay, the
network.
Magic. Okay, the NBA
You know,
network. Okay.
so it was like a combination. It was like I got contracted to work behind the scene to be the teleprompter, in addition to help uh, manage the behind the scenes, and that was pretty cool to be that floor director.
Yeah.
So that's what that was. That's the technical term, the floor director,
Mm-hmm.
and so that was amazing, and it was fun, you know. So it was like you might as well enjoy it while you're there, and I got these opportunities just by not being afraid to talk to people and
Mm-hmm.
telling them what I want. You
Correct.
know, this is what I want to be. So it wasn't necessarily for me in the beginning. It wasn't like, oh, for my business, because
Mm-hmm.
if I would have been thinking more business minded, I feel like I would have gotten more opportunities sooner. But
Mm-hmm.
everything happens when it's supposed to
Yeah,
happen. So I have
timing.
no regrets or anything like that. But again, like I said, I was like, I want to be that production coordinator, and then from there the production manager. But now, as my own, being my own boss, you know, I am that production manager. I am that coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
And now I get to service individuals throughout the world, not
Correct.
even just this state. Like I have clients throughout the world, and that's amazing in itself. So he was great to work with.
Okay.
I don't really have any negative memories in reference to anyone at this current time. I think
Okay.
all the individuals I worked with were pretty cool. And like I said, I think the only reason why I received that positive energy is because that's what I was giving
Mm-hmm.
in
Giving
return.
out. The energy
Yeah,
you give is the energy you get in return, and a person can feel your
exactly.
energy. Yeah, that
Right.
makes sense.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I've seen some things, but it had nothing to do with me. So
Yeah.
I had to do my job.
Yeah, stay in my lane, mind my business. I know that's right.
Exactly.
Okay, so we were talking a little ago, a while ago, and you told me this funny story of how you ended up taking a picture with Mary J. Blige. You was at an event and explain, talk to me about that. You was talking about you was at an event and you actually went in the area where they were with some individuals that we knew growing up. I thought that was funny though.
Well, so basically, I got contracted to provide um, decor
Hmm.
and design and decor for the Mary J. Blige concert, which was an amazing opportunity in itself.
Hmm.
However, um, this particular day, I ran into some of our old friends and I was like, "Oh, what are you guys doing?" You know, and they was like, "Oh, we're about to go um, have a one-on-one with Mary J. Blige and behind the scene." I'm like, "Oh, cool! I want to go." And so basically, what we did was we just walked. Like I basically fit in. Like I was just like, well, the worst they can do is say you're not allowed back here because I was I already had finished my job, so
Correct.
I was working VIP, and this was a whole nother opportunity that I'm like, okay, so I'll just walk. And so we walked, and they didn't say anything to me, like, and we all were just laughing and kikiing, and
Talking your way
we were just
through.
like, right. And the worst, we was like, the worst that can happen is that I don't get a picture. And so when I got in line, they were just like, next. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I,
Hmm.
I got me a picture. Not only did I get a picture, I got an autograph picture.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I got to talk with her. And I can honestly say I am a fan of Mary J. Blige. So I was like, that was an amazing experience. And I thanked my friends. I was just like, thank you so much. Because y'all didn't have to do that. So
See?
it was an amazing opportunity. Um, and I even got to talk to her because, and with different, like I said, with the different networks I've worked with, I always keep it professional.
Correct.
Uh, and I'm only going to work with the people who I'm contracted to work with. And
Yes.
so this opportunity was different because I wasn't working for
Hmm.
a network or anything like that. So it was just more so them allowing fans to come and take a picture. And I got the opportunity to do more than that. I got to speak to her.
Hmm.
We got to have a conversation, and I had an autograph. So I thought that was awesome. So that was
Okay.
me in my social life outside of work because I already did my job. So
Correct. So you're doing more like personable and not trying to conduct any type of business, just a general conversation.
right, exactly that I feel like that was one of the only times I've actually done that. Like just thinking outside of that. When I've not necessarily been in a work environment, it was just like a hey, and then I got back to work. But
Hmm.
but at that specific moment, it was just more social. So yeah.
Okay. So pretty much you got to be able to talk to people, have interpersonal skills, be able to give off good energy, keep it professional, know when to turn the business on and off, and just keep it normal as a regular conversation. And then, like you said, I lost my train of thought. But yeah. Oh, you went away? I can't see you. Your screen is up. Oh, there you go. There you go. All right.
Not
Yeah,
here.
yeah, being able to and being able to just put yourself in position. That's what I'm getting
Hmm.
for. It said being able to network smartly,
Yeah.
um sociable, friendly,
Hmm.
approachable, give people that natural authentic energy um of your well-being. There's no intentions. It's just it'll happen naturally if it's meant to
Right.
be. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All
You
right.
never know. I mean, you at the end of the day, everyone is working towards getting somewhere. And
Correct.
so it's just about putting yourself out there in the most respectable way as possible. And people notice,
Hmm.
just do what you're intended to do. Like, and if you're really good at what you do, you will get noticed,
Okay.
but you have to position yourself in those situations to where you're able to get noticed.
Exactly. All right, you guys, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be back to you momentarily.
Hey Queens, I'm Lekita, the branding specialist of the Lavish Branding Academy, where I help female wedding and event professionals build profitable and sustainable business brands. So you no longer have to stress about figuring out who your ideal target market is. And you don't have to stress about understanding your value and how to package your services. So if you haven't already done so, sign up for a Lavish Branding Kickstart call today, as I have some amazing strategies and tools that I would love to share with you to enhance your brand and take it to the next level. So get your mind right and take action, Queen.
All right, you guys, welcome back to Let's Talk. And again, we are here with the CEO of the Live and Lavish brand, Lekita Logan-Range. So we're going to jump back into it. I want to talk about, I call it the Live and Lavish Empire because you have three amazing businesses under the Live and Lavish brand. You have your Live and Lavish Events, your Live and Lavish Entertainment Guide, and the Live and Lavish Branding Academy. So we're gonna start with the first one that was the main one, and it branched out. So Live and Lavish Events. How would you describe your journey from the beginning up until now? And did you
Okay.
expect it to
Uh,
grow as quick as it did?
oh, okay. Okay. So, um, in the beginning, it was definitely not easy. It was, it had some ups and downs. We started off with focusing on just the event coordination and management.
Okay.
And from there, we started getting inquiries for weddings. So my first primary focus was entertainment production,
Correct.
since I loved entertainment. So we would get contracted to do VIP management. We would do the celebrity management, like for different events that took place, entertainment events. I would do on-site coordination for festivals. We would get hired to staff the different productions. And then from there, one of my friends, she asked me to be a coordinator for her wedding. And I was like, "You want me to coordinate your wedding?" I'm like, "What?" And she was like, "Yeah." And from there, it went to decoration. So when I start getting asked for decoration services, then I was like, well, if I'm going to start offering this, then I need to be at the top of my level. And
Correct.
so I went back to school and I got my accreditation, and then I became an accredited event designer.
Okay.
So I learned how to work with the pipe and drapery and lighting and different things needed to be an amazing event designer. And then from there, I moved to, I was in Orlando. My business started in Orlando. When I started getting inquiries from networks and these I was like, I made it, you know? And it was just so awesome. It was amazing. And from there, I ended up moving down south in 2015. So I started my business in 2010. And then when I was in South Florida, it's, to me, I was like, oh man, now I gotta start all over. I have to get my brand out in a whole nother market. So we already had built a good name for ourselves in Orlando. Our main focus was the corporate events, the entertainment events, and the social aspect.
Okay.
Now we're rebranding ourselves in South Florida, and I got the opportunity to still have an amazing team that stayed in Orlando, but now I had to rebuild all over again. And so eventually I start getting leads for weddings. And so that was something I never foresaw. I never thought that one of our specialties would be weddings. And so now I'm grateful because now we are one of the top wedding planning companies in South Florida. We just received an award in 2020 for being the top wedding planning company in South Florida. So I was very
Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So that was amazing. So now we have been getting swamped with different wedding inquiries, and I'm very grateful. So we went from having our specialty in entertainment, which is definitely still one of our specialties. However, the number one requested service as of today would be weddings.
Okay.
And so now with our Live and Lavish event brand, we are a full service wedding, event management, and decor company. So it's definitely been an amazing journey to get from where we started to where we are today. And I feel like it's still so much that we have to accomplish. We're nowhere near where we're going to be. Um, I say sky's the limit. God knows what He's doing, so I'm here for it. Wherever He is has planned for me. Let's go.
Awesome.
So,
So who was that friend that asked you to coordinate her wedding in Orlando?
Kiara. It wasn't Orlando.
Oh,
It
where's
was
she?
in Tampa.
Tampa. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
shout out to Kiara getting her started into the wedding sector of her events company. So let me ask you this. You know, COVID hit. Well, before we get to COVID hit, you started a live and lavish entertainment guide
Yes.
about, I think it was, when was it? Last year?
February.
February of last year? Started
Yes.
entertainment guide. You guys, I got a copy right here. This is the issue from last year. Now, what was the purpose for your entertainment guide?
So the purpose of the entertainment guide was to provide South Florida with a guide that provided them with all the upcoming events taking place in South Florida, in addition to provide local businesses with an opportunity to promote their brand at local events in the area. And not just any local events, but the top events in South Florida. So when we launched it, we got an amazing response. We got some amazing interest from some top companies, and I was so excited about the journey that was before us in reference to the guide. And I still have people to this day that's just like, hey, when are you putting out the next issue?
Yeah, I see. I see because I was looking through it, and you do have some top. I mean, you have the Tropical Cooler Fest, which everybody is familiar with. Jazz in the Garden even had an ad in here, and there was one a caterer. What was it? Passion for Taste, I think it was. The catering CC, they were also here. So you did have some great names in here. And events, a nice list of events that kept people up to par as to what was going on in the major events that were going on in South Florida. So let me ask you this. Around that time, that's when COVID hit.
Yeah.
How did that affect your businesses, your events company, and the capability of the entertainment guide to go out since COVID hit, if applicable?
Okay. So when it comes down to the entertainment guide, we put it on pause because we were no longer able to distribute them directly to individuals, because that was our form of marketing. It was hand business, sorry, business to consumer. So we were more so out distributing them to people. Right. And so since we were quarantined, we did not have the opportunity anymore. So what we are in the process of doing is we are about to launch a digital edition.
Awesome.
So that basically will resolve a lot of the hesitancy from anyone touching anything physical, and it will provide even more businesses with the opportunity to get seen by our network and those who are interested in receiving information on the upcoming events in South Florida.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, and then you asked in reference to our events business, how is it affected? So when it comes down to our events business, honestly, I would say that it wasn't.
We lost you. Give us a brief second. Okay.
Hello? Okay.
Okay, we're back.
Sorry.
We're back.
Okay. So in reference to our events company, I would say that it wasn't negatively affected or impacted, mainly because during this time, even though we could not have events take place, we were still generating leads for our business.
Okay.
And that was helping us stay afloat. And so I'm grateful that I didn't have a lot of clients that wanted to cancel. They just postponed their events to next year, which is the year we're in right now. So
Okay. That's
I am
awesome.
very grateful.
That's
Yes.
awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So now I want to move on to this amazing Live and Lavish Branding Academy. Like, where did you get the idea to even start and launch your own branding academy?
Oh, right. So during this time, I got a lot of time to think since we had a lot of time on our hands. But one of the unfortunate things that I noticed was that a lot of my colleagues and different affiliates within the industry, they were quitting. You
Mhm.
know, they were giving up because they it seemed as if they didn't necessarily have a system in place. And since we were generating leads within our business, I'm like, I have to do something to share what I'm doing. And
Correct.
a lot of businesses, specifically those in hospitality, because I have a love for hospitality and events industry, um, a lot of us feel that we don't have to invest in marketing
Mhm.
our brand because we're so used to referrals. Like, oh, I don't need to market because I get referrals all the time. Or I don't need this, I don't need to do that. And once this pandemic came, all of a sudden, it's like flop because now you don't have a system in place. And those referrals are no longer there because now they have other responsibilities and no events is going on. But now this is the time where you need to be trying to enhance your brand. And
Correct.
so I said, one thing that a lot of professionals, event professionals do, they like to invest in learning how to do florals, learning how to decorate,
Mhm.
But my whole concept behind it is if you don't know how to get those florals and that decor in front of your target audience, what is that going to do for you?
Correct.
It all starts with your brand. And so I'm like, I woke up one morning and I was just like, the Lavish Branding Academy. And once I woke up and that came to me, I'm like, oh, I got to put it out there. And that's what I did because over these past 10 plus years, I've always had people asking me, hey, how'd you do this? How'd you get this opportunity? And I would help people here and there, but it never was an official platform for me to do it on. So
Correct.
with the Branding Academy, it is structured where they're able to receive mentorship and coaching from me directly. So
Mhm.
I'm excited and I've been seeing so many amazing queen wins and so many wonderful queens have been growing their businesses and been profiting from this academy. So there's no doubt that I didn't make the right decision. I made the right decision with
Mhm.
implementing this Lavish Branding Academy.
Okay. So now let me just make sure uh let me just how do I want to say clarify. Now, your branding academy is not only catered towards events, it works for any business, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay. All right,
Yes.
you guys. So it's not just for events, it's for any type of business that you may do, So check it out. I've actually heard the success stories. I've been on some of the calls and some of the Zooms. So you got to trust the system, apply the system, and it works. It really does work. Okay, so
Awesome.
let me ask you this. what is something you would tell the individual that wants to one day start a business, or who's in the process of starting a business, or who already has a business and that may be struggling?
Okay. I would say set your goals, make it simple, simply plain, and stay focused on executing it and making it come to existence. Because a lot of times we tend to think of these multi-million dollar ideas, but that gives your brain overload,
Mm-hmm.
but you have to take it and break it into tiny steps, because small wins lead to overall big wins. But you have
Correct.
to take it one step at a time, which means you have to focus on one thing at a time. And so, whatever that vision that it is that you may have, you have to make it simple, stay focused on it, and work towards executing it. So you
Amazing.
can do anything you set your mind to. You just gotta stay focused and don't give up. It's gonna take time. And
Mm.
I always say that if you don't know how to do something, connect to someone who does, because that's gonna make your journey a lot more easier if you connect with individuals who already been where you're trying to go.
Awesome closing. Now, tell the people, where can they find you on all social media platforms?
Okay. So, I am on all social media platforms. You can, on Instagram, it's at Lekita Official. So that's Lekita Official. And you also, for Live and Lavish Events, it's on Instagram. It's at LIVE _N _Lavish, LAVISH, and then at the Lavish Branding Academy. So at LAVISH Branding Academy. And then if you literally just Google my name, they'll pop up. Lekita Logan-Range.
Okay, that's awesome. Well, I thank you, Lakita, for being on today. And this has been another amazing episode of Let's Talk. And remember, whatever you want to do, whatever you strive to do, put your mind to it. You got to take action. Don't procrastinate. Procrastination could be your worst enemy. And don't be afraid to reach out if you don't know anything and talk to other individuals. Until next time, I'm a peace of mind, Lyric Allen. Peace and blessings.
Take action, queens and kings.